Hi everyone, it is Monday, September 8th, and today my mom and I went to Costco. Anyone else just tired when they get back from Costco? The cart just starts to get really heavy. Then you gotta let everything in the car and everything back out, and yeah. We were tired when we got back. And we sat and just kind of watched TV for a little bit and had lunch. Yeah, and then we made some apple butter. Well, we started some apple butter. It's in the pressure cooker right now for, I think it goes for about 10 minutes, and then you have to saute it for like an hour and a half, and then you immersion blend it, and then put it in something to put in the fridge. So I'm at the beginning stages of that, but I'm excited. My in-laws have a couple of apple trees, and so we got, and they're kind of tiny, little ones. So we got a bunch of apples from them. So I'm like, apple butter sounds yummy. And next week we may make some pumpkin butter because I love pumpkin butter too. But that is for next week. So I am 10% of the way through The Reckoning by Michael R. Miller. I am 73% of the way through Indian Fairy Tales, put together by Joseph Jacobs, and there have been a couple more stories that I remember having read before, which is kind of fun. And then I am on chapter 5 of The Enchanted Greenhouse, and I really need to get through 6 chapters a day. And I read a couple chapters yesterday, so I need like 3 more chapters to get through today to stay on track to finish it before I have to return it. But I am trying to get through this one. The Indian Fairy Tales, it is reminding me, these are the type of short stories I don't like, where it's completely separate stories that are like really short, like a couple pages over and over and over, and they have similar themes and things like that. And so I just get bored. I'm like, is it over yet? How many more pages do I have? So I really need to kind of spread it out, and I start to spread it out, then I'm like, I just want to be done with it and try and binge it. And yeah, I don't know. I think I just need to stop reading the old fairy tales because I like them, but in very small doses, I think. Yeah. I'm loving this so far. The cat with wings is amazing. I want one. They're so cute. I want one. It lays like a scarf over her neck. I'm like, yes, please. That would be really cool. I'm almost done marking my bell music. I just have a couple songs left, so that's good. And then I think tomorrow is the only day I don't have to leave the house. I like those days. I don't have to leave the house. Yeah, I like those days. It used to be I only had to leave the house 1 day a week. Well, 2 days a week. 1 day for church, 1 day for shopping. And that was it. And now it's more like 1 or 2 days when I get to stay home. So tomorrow I need to film my HRCYED update and get that edited and posted. And then on Wednesday, we take Walter to the vet for his just annual appointment. And then Thursday I have blood work. I need to go to the library and pick up some things. I have a couple of movies in that I want to watch. And then, what is the other? There's something else on Thursday. I was thinking there's something else I have to do on Thursday. Who knows at this point. And I feel like there's something else this week and I'm forgetting what it is. I'm definitely gonna have to look at my calendar. Then I will get back to reading and then make sure I have everything ready to film tomorrow. And then I need to start thinking about, today they just did a sneak peek of the Halloween collection at Archer and Olive. Oh, I want it all. I want it all. I loved the Halloween box we got last year, and the Halloween box this year is going to be amazing, and that drops on Wednesday morning, and I need to get those notebooks. I need a couple of notebooks for next year. I'm out of all my A5s. The one I'm using now is the last one I had, so I do need to get a couple for next year. And they have the blackout pages. They are deckled edges, which I like in a journal, but they have blackout paper, so I'm excited about that. So there's one of the notebooks that I really want. It has the snake on the cover. Shocker, right? And it comes in white and black. I'm almost thinking of getting one of each and just using the same cover for next year and use the white pages in the first half of the year and the black in the last half. That's a thought. But they also have one with this really cool moon, and they have the one with the moon with the little bat, and it's so cute. I really want all 3 of them. Plus the notebook for the Halloween box is stunning. Yes, that one is also just white paper, but stunning. And the washi tapes are amazing. Some of the stickers are really cool. And I do need a couple of notebooks for next year, so that's good, but just any of the extras. And I think that's it for today. And yeah, I'm gonna keep watching my apple butter so I can get to the next stage of that, and then probably take a nap. See you guys tomorrow. Hi, it's Tuesday, September 9th, and yesterday I finished Indian Fairy Tales by Joseph Jacobs, or the compilation put together by Joseph Jacobs, and I did recognize quite a few of the stories in there, and as I was reading like the notes and references at the back, I realized why, because some of them are in Aesop's Fables, which I have also read. I then started The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, and I did finish that one as well. It was only like 2 hours and 8 minutes long audiobook, so it was quick and easy. But that was really interesting. Like I could see, just like as a surface read, that it's entertaining, it's interesting, it's very fun, kind of creepy. I can see really getting in deep into maybe a more deeper meaning to the story itself. I don't want to really get into it too much because it's fairly short and I don't want to give away the ending of it. But I feel like there's some really good discussions that could go on for at least the last half of the book. Very interesting. I am still reading Reckoning by Michael R. Miller. I'm about 11% of the way through. I'm making it through like 1% a day. That's not good because, yeah, it comes out September 15th. I don't think I'm going to have it finished by the time that starts. We'll see, because I have a few books. Lore Olympus is due on September 15th to the library, and I'm hoping it has at least one renew possible, because I haven't renewed it yet. But the Enchanted Greenhouse has no reviews, of course, because there's a long waiting list for this one. So I need to prioritize this one. And then if I can't renew it, then I will prioritize this. But if I can, then I will prioritize Reckoning. Yeah, too many books all at once. It's fine. I usually read 3 books at a time anyway, but it gets a little confusing when you have 40 books on your TBR. And right now I'm actually I am reading 3. Because I finished The Metamorphosis, so last night I started Gemina by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. It's the second book in the Illuminate files. Loving it, loving getting back in the world. I am about 3 hours into that one. It's a 12.5 hour audiobook. A decent chunk for only having been reading it for a day and a half. So I have Gemina, The Enchanted Greenhouse, and Reckoning that I'm all going at one time. So Gemina is audiobook, which I actually still have my headphones in. Reckoning, of course, is on Kindle, and then the Enchanted Greenhouse here. So this is the priority, and then Reckoning, and then Gemina. With the audiobook, I can at least do things around the house, like cleaning, making food, and things like that. I am excited to say I finished my apple butter, and it is delicious. So most of the apples that are in here were from my in-laws' apple tree, and so that's just kind of fun. And I ended up making 2 batches, so I got 2 jars. These are the 16-ounce mason jars. So I got 2 of these, and I doubled the recipe, but I did not double the sweetener because they have honey to sweeten it, but it was like half a cup of honey. That's a lot with apples, which are already really sweet. So I think I would probably still do a double batch, but cut back the honey even more. So instead of 1 cup of honey for the batch would have been way too much. So half a cup I think was okay, but I think 1/3 of a cup would be better, even just for the 2 batches, just because apples are naturally sweet on their own. Unless you're using all Granny Smith apples, then you may want to do the half a cup for the 2 batches. But it was delicious. I had some on my banana bread this morning, and it was so yummy. It's been a long, I don't know, actually, I don't think I've ever made apple butter before. I've made pumpkin butter, and it was too runny. I didn't let enough liquid cook off on that one, so it wasn't as thick as I wanted it. But this one, the texture is great, and I'm hoping to try my hand at making some more pumpkin butter in the future. And today is my I don't have to leave the house day. So I am just hanging out and bumming around and enjoying not having to leave the house. Getting some laundry done, and of course doing some chores, some admin stuff that needs to get done. That's usually a good day to do it, is when I don't have to leave the house. Tomorrow we get to take Mr. Walter in to the vet for his annual checkup, and he loves and hates it. For some reason, both dogs that we've had the dog we had previous to Walter was named Dax, and she was a Bloodhound Rhodesian Ridgeback mix. And she also, the same thing, hated getting on the scale. I don't know if it's the metal, if it's cold, if it's slippery, like what, if it's all three of those, what it is, but they're just like, get me off this thing. So we almost have to hold him on there and try and like just release and hope for like 1 second he doesn't move so they can read the scale to see how much he weighs. But we already know he's still probably about the same, about 65 pounds, and just a 65 pounds of muscle. Yeah, but he's a sweetheart. And that's all I got. It's going to be a boring day, so I'm not going to be doing much. I am going to do a little bit more filming and probably doing some more spreadsheet updating. And I did get all the books I've read so far submitted to all of the different readathons that I'm doing that have submission forms anyway. And I do need to print some more book covers so I can add those to my HRCYED reading journal for the ones that I didn't have yet, just so then I can show that to you guys in my updated reading journal. And I think that's really all I got for right now, and I will see y'all again tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, September 10th, and we took Walter to his vet appointment. All things were good, and of course everyone loves Walter because he's super friendly, tries to climb up in their laps and then lick them all over. But he is nice and healthy, so that's great. And then I unexpectedly again got one of my holds from the library for an audiobook, and that was for Home is Where the Bodies Are. So I did read this. And this is for one of the book clubs that I'm doing. I think it's a Welsh Readers book club. And this was really good. I pretty much finished the whole thing today. It's under 300 pages, so it was quick and easy. But it was really interesting. It was really good. I love the little twists and turns in there. And yeah, the family dynamics and all of the craziness that happens. But it's very good. I would definitely recommend this one. I am also making progress on The Enchanted Greenhouse. So I'm here, so I'm at least 30% of the way through the book. So hopefully by the end of the night, this is where I want to be, so I need to read that much. We'll see. I'm trying to read 6 chapters a day. Not quite making it yet. I read 4 the first 2 days. I read 5 yesterday, I think. And yeah, so I'm still on track to finish before I have to return it, but I need to kind of get on that a little bit more. And then I also have been making progress on Reckoning. I'm not a whole lot. I'm still only 11% of the way through, almost 12%. But it's definitely slow going. But as soon as I am done with this one, then I can focus on this one a little bit more. Tomorrow I have some errands to run, and then Friday getting ready for Toad the Red Sprocket concert on Saturday. So excited. And we do need to go down a little early so I can hit the library in Avondale first before we head over, and then we're meeting our friends for dinner before the concert, and then we're going to the concert. It's gonna be so much fun. So excited. It's funny because we're not really live music people anymore. Like, please protect my ears. We always bring earplugs. That's very important. Yeah, I don't know why. We've always liked live music and going out, but over the years it's slowly dwindled to the point where it's just loud and uncomfortable. There's too many people, and yeah, I don't know. We're homebodies now, I guess, but I am very excited. We love getting together with our friends, and it's kind of funny. So these are friends that I've had since high school, and my husband, they're actually my husband's friends, although I knew them before I knew him, and he's been friends with them since, one of them since preschool, and one of the others since like kindergarten or first grade. So it's kind of fun to continue to get together with them all the time. And I will try and get a couple pictures while I'm there, but I'm pretty much just going to be present in the moment. So I'm not planning on really getting my phone out and taking pictures and all of that, but I will try to get a few for you so you can see what I was getting up to. So until tomorrow, bye. Hi everyone, it's Thursday, September 11th, and today I went and ran some errands, and then I stopped at the library to pick up some books, and I decided to peruse the little quarter section again, and they actually have the first 4 books in the Game of Thrones there right now. They have 2 different copies of them. So when I got home, I told my husband about it, and next time I go, between the two of us, we decided that yes, we do want to get them because he's interested in reading them too. So even if I'm they're not for me, then he would like to read them. So I will be picking those up next week, and those ones are all $2 each. So that one, it's not quite a quarter, but you'll see me here perusing the 25-cent section, and I did pick up a couple of books, and one of them is Sharpe's Devil by Bernard Cornwell, and this one piqued my interest just because of the pirate theme that was in there. And then the other one, I've been looking, they've had Isaac Asimov books there every time I've been, and I really want to read one of his books, and so I finally decided to pick one up, and it's The Second Foundation, and I'm not sure where in the series that lies, but I should be able to get any of the books in the series, check them out from my library or something like that. I should be able to borrow them, so this will give me a chance to see if I like them or not. That was the quarter section, and they have along the back walls, they have whatever price is listed inside. So like here, they'll have the price inside the cover, and that's how much you pay for that particular book, unless it has the orange dot at the bottom. Well, I was moving through the fantasy section and the sci-fi section, and here's a little bit of that. And I did find the Game of Thrones there. I was so excited to find, and I had to get it because I love this book. It is so good, not like the movie. So good, and that is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I loved this book. I loved it. Gave it 5 stars, and I am excited to own a copy of it now. And I was just looking through here, and there are actually some pictures inside too. Ooh, some drawings. That's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to finding some of those as I read it again, because this is definitely a book I would reread. And there is a little bit of page damage on there, but not too bad. That happens when you have library books. I'm so excited for this one, and I did find a spot on my shelf that it fits for now until I get the other Game of Thrones, and I may have to move some things. So it's so nice to see my shelves looking all nice and full, because I know when I first put them all together, there was a lot of empty space. I have my cookbooks on here, I have old journals on here, so I may have to find a new home for some of those so I can fit actual novels and reading books on here. And then I went to the library because I had books that I needed to pick up. So I picked up, you can't tell at all what that is from this book, it's just all one color. But this is The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, and it's fairly short, and this is a very well-loved book. It's an old one. Just looking at the corners. The poor book. It's definitely been well-loved, so I'm looking forward to reading that one. I also picked up The Bone Witch by Ringe Pecco, and this is for the Magical Readathon. And then Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead, and this one is for the Vampire Academy read-along with Sandra from Got a Thing for Things. And I'm excited to get to this one. I'm enjoying the series so far. It's kind of fun. I don't think it's anything, amazing, but it's entertaining. I think it's held up well, because I believe, it's hard to know when it was originally published, but this edition was 2009. So I feel like it's held up pretty well over the years, and I'm excited to finish out the series. I think there's 6 books in the series, and this is the 4th one. So we're about halfway through, and then we'll move on to Bloodlines, which is the spin-off series. And I also did get the Vampire Academy movie from the library today. I picked that up as well. So I'm excited to see if the movie's any good. And then my last update for today is I am halfway through The Enchanted Greenhouse. I am loving it. So I have this much left, and I have this much left to read today. So I've actually done really well. So hopefully I will be able to get a little further into the next couple days and get some of those read, because Saturday is the concert and I won't be reading a whole lot. So I need to get this one finished, because I need to be able to turn this back in on Monday. And then I am still working on Reckoning by Michael R. Miller. and I am 14% of the way through, so that's good. I've gone through a couple percent. When I had an appointment this morning that I was in the waiting room, so I just got to sit and read, so that was nice. I made a little bit more progress on there. And then lastly, I forgot, I did start it yesterday, so it was later yesterday, but I did start Death's End by Sin Liu, and the audiobook narrator pronounced that correctly, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. Shishin Liu, I think, was closer to how it is. That's the third book in the Remembrance of Earth's Past series, and I'm loving it. This is such a great sci-fi series, and I am looking forward to finish out that series because it's been so good. For some reason, I thought there was another book after this, but there's not. It's just the three. I'm very excited. I'm also really bummed that I did not subscribe to the Broken Binding sci-fi subscription box, but I just can't justify spending that extra money. But the editions for the series are gorgeous, and I really wish I would have them, but I'm just excited to actually read the book series, so very excited for that. And let's see, I've also been enjoying the apple butter that I made. It's so good. I made my husband oatmeal the other day, and afterwards, after I'd already given it to him, he'd already basically eaten most of it, I realized, oh, I could have put in some of the apple butter on top of that and mixed that in. That would have been delicious, but I'll have to remember that for next time. I think that's all the updates I have for you right now, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye! Hi everyone, it is Sunday, September 14th, and I didn't vlog on Friday or Saturday. Didn't really do much. I wasn't feeling great on Friday, just low energy, and I knew Saturday we were going to be going to the concert, and I wanted to be at my best for that, so I just kind of chilled and read, and I did finish The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. It was so cute, so cozy, so heartwarming, and just so much fun. I mean, talking plants and a winged cat. What's not to like? Loved it. Not a 5-star, probably a 4, maybe a 4.5. So 4-star for me, but really enjoyed it. Oh, and there was a point towards the end. There was one chapter that just melted my heart. It was just so sweet, and I'm glad it was in there. So yeah, 4 stars. And then we watched The Importance of Being Earnest, and this was hilarious. Almost word for word, line for line from the book, so that was cool. And I'm still working on Reckoning. I am 31% of the way through, so I did make a lot of progress yesterday when we were driving to and from the concert. So I still have a ways to go, and there's no way I'm finishing it by tomorrow, but from what I've read so far, it is so good. I highly recommend it. Reckoning by Michael R. Miller, 4th book in the Songs of Chaos series, and yeah, it is so worth the read. High epic fantasy, and dragons, and dragon riders, and lots of action, lots of internal dialogue, lots of interactions with other people. We've got found family, and sort of, I don't know if I would say chosen one trope, sort of a chosen one trope, but it's not like you're the chosen one and you just automatically have all these special powers. So yeah, no, they trip up, they don't know what they're doing, and they learn as they go, and it's great. Highly recommend the entire series. And then I also finished my audiobook, which was Death's End by Shishin Liu. It is so good. That's the 3rd and final book in the Remembrance of Earth's Past series, and I loved it. It was a very interesting wrap-up to the story. There was a couple times where I was like, oh, okay, we're at the end, and but then it kept going, which was still kind of fun. I like that the rest of that was included, so it didn't just stop at one point. It kind of kept going with history and how things turned out in the end. And then yesterday, as I was reading The Reckoning, we went down to the Avondale Public Library so I could renew my card and actually get a card, because she's like, you don't have a card? I'm like, no, I signed up in 2020 when everything was just online, and so I never actually had to go into the library. I just listened to Hoopla, the ebooks and audiobooks. And they also have Libby, so there's some books on Libby from that library that I can't get from Prescott Library, and vice versa, so that's kind of cool too. So I did get that renewed, and then as we were walking back out, there's like, you walk in, you know, sliding door kind of thing, like you're going to the grocery store, and there's like a little kind of, I guess you could say, lobby entry area where there's bathrooms and things like that, and then you walk into another set of sliding doors into the actual library. And in this little middle section, kind of the entryway, there was a cart. And on the way out, I happened to notice the sign that was on the cart, and it said, ARCs, free copies, take as many as you like. And I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to stop and look at this. And so my husband nicely just sat over at one of the tables in that little area and did his thing and let me just peruse and enjoy and have a lot of fun, which, so big thank you to you for that. That was awesome. And so I'm looking through this and they have the Tao of Bill Murray, which I thought was hilarious. I didn't pick it up, but that was pretty funny. And most of the books, I'm like, not really my genre, not really anything I've heard of, and not anything I really want to get. And I'm thinking, there's probably not really going to be anything on here. But then I found one for my mom, which I may read first. We'll see. But that's The Faith of Dolly Parton. She loved Dolly Parton. I also really like Dolly Parton, and I just thought it's pretty short, but I thought that might be a fun one to read. And look at that ring. A little star ring. That's gorgeous. She is just like blinged out. Look at that guitar. That's kind of fun. So that's one I found. And then I was looking through, and the next one I saw, I was like, wait, what? Recursion by Blake Crouch. I am very excited for this one. I have wanted to read Blake Crouch for a while now, and now I get to. And it does say on sale June 2019. I'm like, how do they still have all these old ARC copies? It's just kind of funny. And there's one from 2018 in here too. So I saw that and I was like, awesome. And then just 2 books away from that one is Network Effect by Martha Wells. I'm like, yes, I think this is actually the book I'm up to. I either just finished this one or this is the next one that I'm up to. But yes, I love this series, so I was not going to turn this down. And then I kind of kept looking and I was like, I don't know if there's really going to be anything else. And I saw this one, which is, I didn't realize it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Anna Waterhouse. That's kind of interesting. And it's a novel, Mycroft and Sherlock. So it's Mycroft Holmes and Sherlock Holmes, brothers. And it's a little adventure of theirs. And I love Sherlock Holmes, so I thought it would be kind of fun to see what this one is. And then I do love Jane Austen. I think I am just about done. I have Love and Friendship to read this month, and then I think I'm about done with all of her books. I think I've read through all of them. Maybe not all the short stories. And I saw this and I was like, oh, I gotta get that. And this one is by Janice Hadlow, and it's the other Bennet sister. So from Pride and Prejudice, it's not Elizabeth Bennet, it's the other sister. And I thought this one would be kind of fun too, because I do love Jane Austen. And it's a little bit thicker too, so I do love a chunky book. And then lastly, I'm like, okay, I'm last row. I'm going to give it just one more look and make sure I didn't miss anything. And I saw Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. I am very excited to read this one. I've heard so many good things about it. And there's been a couple of kind of like book clubs that have read through the whole series. And I kind of got to the party a little late, and they're pretty much on like the last couple books, or they just finished. And so I haven't really prioritized it. And now I have my own copy and I can read it. I'm very excited for this one, and I mean, the cover is stunning. Love that. Yeah. And this one was 2018. Very cool. Very excited for that. So the whole library visit was a huge win, and that was so much fun, and it was no problem. It was super easy renewing, and even being out of county. So being out of county, I had to pay for the membership, and it was $41 a year, and that's a lot cheaper than doing any other audiobook subscription. So that was an absolute yes. And then after that, we went and kind of drove around our old neighborhood, and we had kind of a volunteer tree start growing in the front yard from one of the neighbors' yards. I think the seeds blew over and one started growing. It was probably about this big or so, and we planted it in our backyard. And when we moved, it was about as tall as my husband, so it was just about 6 foot tall. And now you could easily stand under it. It has grown that much. I mean, it's been like 3 years, but you can easily stand under it now with your head just under all of the leaves. So it's grown that much more. It was so cool to see. And it's in the backyard, so it's not like we could peek over and see what's happening, but the whole thing was above the the block wall behind it and everything. So that was really fun. And then from there, we drove over to Mesa to have dinner with our friends before heading to the concert. And on the way there, I remembered, oh my gosh, so there's 5 groups that are touring. Toad the Wet Sprocket is the headliner. And then there's anywhere from 1 to 3 bands that open for them. And Sixpence None the Richer is one of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love Sixpence None the Richer. They're one of my favorite bands. I have all their albums, and my husband and I've even done some of their songs. And then we got there and realized, oh, they're not here. So I was sad about that, so I didn't get to see them. But they did have Vertical Horizon open for them, and I was like, I know that name, and I didn't remember exactly what songs that they did, but as soon as they played them, I was like, oh yeah, that's who they are. I loved Vertical Horizon. So that was fun, and here's a clip of them. And then the second person that opened was Katie Tunstall, and I didn't know that name either at all, but I did recognize 2 of her songs. So Vertical Horizon, I recognized all of the songs they did but 2, and then for Katie Tunstall, I only recognized 2 that she actually did, but one of them was pretty popular. It was a pretty big hit back then. So yeah, I do remember that one. And then we had Toad the Wet Sprocket. That was really funny. I looked up and to see how they got their name, because I thought I had looked it up before, but I didn't remember. So I looked it up, and there was this Monty Python sketch way back when, and it was like absurd band names, and apparently Toad the Wet Sprocket was on there, and they kind of took that and then just never changed it. So that's kind of fun. And then a fun fact also about Toad the Wet Sprocket is the main 4 that all got together to create the original group. The lead singer was 15, and the other 3 were all 19 at the time, which was pretty impressive. And they are all still together except for the drummer. He did stop playing a couple of years ago because of his health issues. And so they have a new drummer, and they also have a keyboardist that's been playing with them the last couple times we've seen them. And it's just so much fun. It was so much fun. I loved it. We recognized every single song they did, of course, because we have all of their albums too. And they played our favorites. So the last 2 concerts we went to, they never play Paul, which is one of their songs, and they played it this time. I was so excited. And then the concert kind of ended, and they went off stage, and of course everyone's clapping, and I'm like, they didn't do Walk on the Ocean. Where's Walk on the Ocean? And so of course we know they're going to come back for an encore, and they did Walk on the Ocean. So that was really cool. That was our favorite songs. And my husband actually has one song up on his YouTube channel, and it's that song, which is really cool. I'll leave it linked down below in case you want to check it out. It was just so much fun. It was great getting together with our friends again. It was just so much fun. We really had a nice time. But we also didn't realize that Vertical Horizon was going to go on for 35 minutes and then have a 25-minute intermission, which we kind of get because they have to change things on the stage to, drum sets and all of that kind of thing. And then Katie went on for 50 minutes and then a 30-minute intermission. And then Toad was on there for 75 minutes. So it was almost 4-hour concert. So that means it didn't end till it ended at 10:30, which means we didn't get home till it was like 12:58, so almost 1 in the morning before we were able to get home because it's a 2-hour drive. And yeah, so we slept in a little bit this morning. We were tired, but it was so worth it. Totally would see them again. And it did have my earplugs in the whole time though, because it gets so loud. They get it to this point where it's so loud that everything just kind of mushes together, and it gets hard to hear individual things. And as the groups went on, the sound got better and better. So like Toad's sound was amazing. You can tell that they bring their own sound person, and that sound person has been with them for a while. And they did a great job. But it kind of, the earplugs that I have, they're for singers. So you can still hear what's going on, but it muffles some of that whoa, whoa, whoa kind of sound, and yeah, that ringing and stuff that can happen with so much noise all at once. I'm very glad I had those. My ears weren't near as tired as I thought they were going to be by the end, so that was nice. And then we come to today, which is Sunday. So slept in, and I'm just bumming around the house today because tired. But also big thanks to my mom for coming at lunchtime and staying and taking care of Walter while we were gone. So she fed him dinner and got him all tucked in for bed and all of that. And then when we got home, he was also very happy. But it's so nice because he's so snuggly, especially when we're gone. So he'll just curl up in your lap and just like lay there for the rest of the day. And she loves that. So, okay, today I am starting Rebecca. So my thought, I have a thought. So these ones were all kind of suspense, kind of that gothic kind of feel and atmosphere. And so I'm wondering if maybe I should try and read all of the rest of these in October for my 13 spooky reads. Might be kind of fun, but I'm starting with Rebecca for right now. I'm not very far in. I just started it. I'm still in the first chapter, so I'm on like page 10 in here. But this is one of the ones I got from the library too, so that was kind of fun. And there's 7 books in here, so that's a great deal. And then I also started, because I have to read, well, I was going to start Lore Olympus because I have this for a lot of prompts for a lot of readathons, but for the magical readathon, I need to read this before I finish this. So that's what I'm doing. Although we did sit and just kind of have a nice leisurely breakfast and kind of chilled for about an hour this morning. And so I actually read that much. So I'm almost done with this one. So I really need to listen to this one today and get with it. But this one's interesting so far. It's kind of fun. I had just read Psyche and Eros last year for the BuJo Buddies book club not too long ago. I feel like it's within the last 12 months. And there's a little section in here that this is all about like the Greek gods. So Hades and Poseidon and Zeus and Artemis and Aphrodite and all of those. But there's a chapter or so on Psyche and Eros in here too. It's kind of fun. So that is where I am with everything so far. I did order my notebooks from Archer and Olive with their little Halloween sale. So I did get the Halloween box and then I got 2 notebooks to go with it, and I'm very excited. They did ship, so I can't wait for them to come in, and I will show you guys what I got when they come in. But I have been working on my plan with me for October. I'm having fun with it, so I hope it turns out okay. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. And then I haven't started on my October reading journal yet. I've sort of started. I've kind of got some ideas. My BuJo and my reading journal will have somewhat similar themes, but also a little bit different. So I'm kind of setting things that I like in one pile or the other and have it be slightly different but similar. I have finished 2 prompts for Scientific September. I've actually finished 3 prompts for Everbloom Academy. And I've finished 2 spots on the bingo board for the Cryptid Creatures Readathon. So I have a Chupacabra and a Yeti. And those were both fulfilled with Gemina by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. And then I am doing really well so far with Rebellion Readathon. So everything colored in purple I have finished. So I am a little bit stuck here at this side quest, but I've been able to kind of continue on a little bit, and I did finish my first objective. I kind of have 3 side quests and an info gathering that I need to work on to make more progress on the board. But at this point, I'm kind of just going through, and any book I don't already have in there, I'm trying to find the prompts that I haven't used yet and fit those in there so I can get everything done, because I want to get every spot on the board done. I do have the 2 books, so Lore Olympus and Rebecca, I don't have anywhere on here yet, so I need to figure out what prompts I can use it for. So for the side quest of steal a book from somebody else's TBR, I can actually use either of those books because Rebecca is the book club book for the Hardcore Literature Book Club, and Lore Olympus, I have seen other people talking about that one, so I will probably use Rebecca for that one. Well, let me go through some of the other prompts before I decide. Book outside of your comfort zone, book with a green cover, neither of those do. Read a book you've been postponing. I could use Lore Olympus for that one, keep that out. Let's see, book with a map, nope. Special edition, nope. Read a book heavier than your last read. I can absolutely use Lore Olympus for that because this book weighs a lot. So this one, which is like 800, 700 and something pages, is pretty hefty. But this book, which is only like 300 pages, is heavier than that one just because of the materials it's made out of. This is a hefty book. I'm totally using it for that. Use a coin toss to pick your next read. I do need to do that one soon before I don't have any books left. Complete a reading challenge prompt or 2025 goal. That one's easy to do too. Read an ebook, that's easy. Read a book on your own TBR, that one's easy, but neither of the, well, Rebecca could work for that too. Read a hyped book and steal a book from someone else's TBR. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Rebecca for steal a book from someone else's TBR. Okay, the info gathering one, I had to go back to her spreadsheet or her document because this is too blurry to read. But the prompt is actually a book that is bigger than your last read, or you can do one that's you read a book in 24 hours, or a book you go into blindly, which I mean, any of those work because I go into pretty much all my books blind. I don't like reading the synopsis and things like that. But I do have the one that's heavier than your last read in here. That one was a side quest. Aha, found it. Okay, I do still have that one. So book heavier than last read is going to be Lore Olympus, most definitely. And finishing those will give me 2 more side quests, which is what I need right now, is to get through 2 more side quests. And then I can get an info gathering one from there. And I have quite a few of those. For SeasonAthon Academy, I did finish one prompt so far, and that was Gemini. And that was for Astronomy 1010. Read a sci-fi, easy. So far, Ariel has finished 2 classes, Astronomy and Inscription. And Karasu's finished Demonology and most of Inscription. He has one class left for D. Luminar's completed Astronomy. She's working on spells and incantations and Inscription. She's almost done. She's got the O prompt done. She's working on the Q and the D. Castian has finished the first part of Lore and has finished Art of Illusion and is working on a couple of other classes. I'm getting there. Thanks for hanging out with me this week, and I will see you guys all for more next week. And don't forget, I do have sprints next Thursday, so September 18th at 1:00 p.m. Arizona time, and I will see you guys all there. Bye!